For the last year, whenever I would video, I have had so much trouble trying to get the glare out of my glasses. So, today I thought I would try something different. I know that I look different because I don't have my glasses on, but I thought I would try this so that you won't be so distracted from the glare that is so often in my glasses. So if you like this and it doesn't seem to get in the way of listening to my videos, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know that also. I don't have very good eyesight, and today I have made myself some notes. So if you see me look and sort of squint, it's because I'm trying to read the notes. But just bear with me because I truly want to be of service to my viewers. As a matter of fact, many times before I start to do a video, I pray about it and I ask God to reveal something to me that will be beneficial to others. I did that this week, and this is what He revealed to me. I have been going on Connect, which is part of the Weight Watcher app, and specifically searching out the newer members of Weight Watchers and trying to answer their questions or comments that they've made. And so this morning I came up with 10 things that recently, within the last week, they've been asking or commenting about. Okay, the first, I guess, question that they had was whether it was good to continue to weigh once a day or to do as Weight Watcher recommends and only weigh once a week. My experience with that was all these years that I was extremely overweight. When I would really be trying to lose it, I weighed every single day, to the point to where it sometimes almost drove me crazy. You see, our weight fluctuates so much between day and day that you can't get a true or a accurate amount of the weight that you've gained or the weight that you've lost by doing it every single morning. Or that's my experience anyway. So when I joined Weight Watchers, they recommended only weighing once a week. Well, right to begin with, it was hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It was hard because I had been so indoctrinated about weighing myself every morning that I really had to move my scale so that it wouldn't be right there in front of me every morning when I walked by it. So, my experience tells me that I'm doing much better by only weighing once a week. I don't dwell on the weight all the time like I was. For example, if I weighed one morning and my weight was up, it could ruin my whole day. That's all I would think about all day is what do I need to do to get that half a pound off or whatever. So just weighing once a week has seemed to work the best for me. Now that I'm on maintenance, probably for the last year or so, I will sometimes get on the scale in the middle of the week to see how I'm doing. And if my weight seems to be up, I will buckle down the last 3 or 4 days before my weigh-in. I do that just to have a sense of where I'm at during the week. But I still truly recommend once a week. So if you can stand it, try doing the once a week weigh-in method. Okay, number 2, how much exercise do I need to be getting? Well, I always explain what I did. For the first 2 to 3 months that I was on Weight Watchers, my feet, ankles, legs were in such bad shape I got very little exercise. I would walk a little bit around inside the house, but that was about the extent that I could do it. After those 2 or 3 months on Weight Watchers, I had lost around 20 pounds. Well, just those 20 pounds made it to where I could get around a whole lot easier. And I found myself moving a lot more. Now, I don't go to the gym, but I do walk. I thoroughly recommend, if you can walk, do it. Luckily for me, I have a driveway that is almost a half a mile long. And for me to go get my mail, I walk down there and walk back up to the house, and I've almost walked a mile. So if my legs are up to it, that's the exercise that I get. If it's not, if my body is struggling, as it has in the past, I walk around the house. I do wear an Apple Watch that is paired with my iPhone, and it keeps me updated on what my steps are. That's one thing that's been something that I've used at least for the last 3 years. Connected with that is FitPoints. I do not count on my FitPoints for anything. I look at my FitPoints, but it's only to judge how much exercise that I'm getting during the week. I have found that the exercise, it's good for me. I feel better when I do it, but I do not feel like it's helped me lose the weight. It's just helped me remain healthy, which is very important. But I do not think that exercise is the key to losing a great amount of weight. I do think you can lose some weight through exercise, but not the amount that I needed to lose. Number 3, what are blue dots? Well, my opinion on blue dots is a little different than other people's. I don't concentrate on having to have a blue dot. Now, I want you to understand, it's because I, many weeks, will eat under my blue dot amount. I've done that since I started Weight Watchers. There were no blue dots when I started Weight Watchers, and so there were several days where I would eat 8 and 10 and 12 points under my daily point allowance. And I didn't worry about anything like that. Well, I rarely used my weeklies, so I never worried about that either, because if I used any weeklies, it was no more than 2 a day, because I was so determined not to use them. But I did look this up because some new members were struggling to know what a blue dot was and why all of a sudden their blue dot went away. This morning I looked it up, and if you have more than 8 points, 8 smart points over your daily allowance, your blue dot will go away. So that's how you can understand about the blue dots. Now, on all 3 colored plans, the below your daily amount was different, but above, which that's what most people are concerned with, was try not to go over 8 points or your blue dot will go away. Number 4, how do we avoid slip-ups at work? Well, my best advice for that is to, like the Boy Scouts say, be prepared. Whenever I know that I'm going to be gone for any length of time, I will carry sort of like a care package or an avoid slip-ups package with me. I nearly always have a banana on hand because I don't have to refrigerate it, and it will last during the day for me. I also carry water with me all times. I feel like I have to have my water because I don't drink carbonated beverages anymore. So I want that water with me, and I always make sure I have it. I also, in the past, have taken things that are very low points if I know I'm going to be gone for a long amount of time. I don't necessarily recommend this to everybody, but this is some of what I do. I will take a packet of peanut butter and cracker. There's 7 points on the plan that I'm on right now, and I was on the purple plan, so they were the same. And if I have to have a lunch, that's what I'll eat if I don't have any opportunity to go somewhere else to where I can get a low point lunch. I know I've got those peanut butter and cracker, and I always keep a pack of that in my car. There's several other things that you can do, but my experience is fruit and the peanut butter and cracker, and I always have my water. Sometimes I'll boil an egg and take it with me, but most times I don't have access to a refrigerator. So if I take a lot of things, I have to put it in a cooler, which is not that much trouble. You know, if I was going to work every day, I would do it in a heartbeat to keep from going to a vending machine and just looking to see what I could get, because vending machines are not very health oriented. Number 5, how do I adjust to eating lower portions, and how do I determine what portion size is? I've mentioned this several times on this channel that a food scale is very important when you're trying to lose weight. That was one of the first things I did after I joined Weight Watchers. I saw the importance of needing a food scale. I'd never had one before. I knew they were out there, but I'd never had one. But when I started trying to accurately account for what I was eating, that was the answer to my problem, and hopefully that will be your answer too. It's not a big expense. I think years ago they probably were pretty expensive, but now you can get a relatively accurate one, or that's what I'm thinking. I'm on my 2nd food scale, so I have used the food scale almost daily when I am actively tracking and actively trying to eat the right amounts. You know, I also used, when I first started Weight Watchers, they talked a lot about using your hand. The palm of your hand is a good indication of a portion size of meat. Your fist is a good indication of a portion size of vegetables. And I used that quite a bit, because if I'm not at home and don't have access to my food scale, I've always got access to this hand. And sometimes that helps in a pinch. Number 6, several of the new members are online only members. So they were asking several questions about, how do I get support? Well, more times than not, my support has come from where we are right here, YouTube. When I first joined Weight Watchers, my husband was on this journey with me. He no longer is. And after I had gained some weight back in 2016, I needed support. And the way that I found it was I searched it out on YouTube. I did a little bit on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook pages out there that will help people trying to lose weight. I have found that Instagram is a good way to find a lot of recipes and pictures of things that give me ideas on what to eat. Really recommend going on Connect every day to get some kind of support, some kind of encouragement. I feel like that is one of the big things about Weight Watchers is Connect. One of the things that I have said on Connect several times is I believe that if you're an online only member, you need to seek out a YouTube channel that goes over the weekly meetings. And as most of you know, I highly recommend Let's Get Fit with Sandy. Every Saturday, she goes over the Weight Watcher meeting that she has just gone to. She has what they hand out at the meetings each week and goes over it and shows it on her channel. So if you are searching for someone that goes over the meetings each week, I highly recommend Sandy. Let's Get Fit with Sandy. Number 7, scanners. And how do I track and why do I have to track? In my opinion, tracking is what sets Weight Watchers apart from all other diet plans. Now, there's several diet plans out there that say that that's the negative part of Weight Watchers. But for me, that was my way toward success. I totally know that me being able to use my smartphone to track what I'm eating all the time is why I lost the weight. You know, I still had to make those choices on what to eat, but the phone was always there. You know, we're sort of attached to our smartphones nowadays, and I always have mine with me, or I'd say 95% of the time, so I can, in just a few minutes, find out how much I'm eating, whether not enough or way too much. Now, the scanner is another, I mean, it's my friend. I take it to the supermarket with me every time I go. I would say even nowadays, I use it. If not every time I go, every other time. It's just something that there's always new foods out there at the grocery stores and Walmart, and I'm always interested to know how many points a serving it is. I used it Saturday 2 or 3 different times. There's some new chips out there, and I wanted to know how much per serving they were. I really like to eat pretzels, but sometimes, depending on the way the pretzels are made, they have a lot of points. Well, I found a bag of pretzels the other day, made by the Walmart brand, Great Value, that I can have 94 of these little bitty pretzels for 3 smart points. Well, I'm not going to eat 94 a lot, but I'm going to eat 50, and 50 is 2 smart points. So I have a new friend in this bag of Great Value pretzel sticks. But to use the scanner, if you're looking, I would show you on my phone, except I'm using my phone right now, so I can't. Up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little barcode looking thing. And if you will put a food underneath it, you know, in the package to where the barcode is facing you, and then put your phone over it, after you press that little scanner thing, it'll scan it. And it'll tell you what the points are per serving. Now, it will have to do with whatever colored plan you're on. But see, that's another wonderful thing about my smartphone is it figures it. I don't have to. Lowering your portion sizes and tracking are so very important to have success. Number 8. There's been several people on Connect asking for suggestions on alternatives to different kinds of foods. One in particular is salty foods. People that are so used to eating potato chips and peanuts and all different kinds of salty foods that have a lot of points are out there searching for alternatives. And I have a few alternatives toward salty food. One thing, and I've mentioned it on this channel several times, is I eat quite a bit of grape tomatoes, even in the wintertime. I've been able to find packs of grape tomatoes that I take with me along with the banana and the peanut butter and cracker. I'll take those grape tomatoes if I know I'm going to be away from the house for quite a while. And for some reason, they curb my salty cravings. I don't understand why they do, but they do. Another thing is, in the last few months especially, I've developed a Low Point ranch dip. I've been seeing it for years, but I'd never really developed it myself until probably, I would say November. Around Thanksgiving is when I really begin to use it a lot, because I love cauliflower, but I feel like I have to have a little something on my cauliflower to really enjoy it. I'd been using either Low or No Point salad dressing, but now I've developed something else. I have always liked the Chobani plain Greek no-fat yogurt. I like it better than the other brands just because I like the consistency of it. It's something that I like. But I've always just pretty much used it as a substitute for sour cream. Now, I'm using it as a substitute for ranch dip. Instead of making up a lot, I don't do that. I make up a small amount whenever I'm feeling like I want to have some ranch dip. What I do is I get a couple of tablespoons out of the carton and mix it with a tablespoon of light mayonnaise. The mayonnaise that I use, because I'm big on consistencies, and this has a good consistency to me, is Hellmann's Light. For 1 tablespoon of Hellmann's Light mayonnaise, it's only 1 Smart Point. And of course, the 2 tablespoons of the plain Greek yogurts, it's 0 Smart Points. Then I will add 1 teaspoon of the Hidden Valley Ranch Seasoning Mix. It's 0 Smart Points. I mix it up really good, and sometimes I'll refrigerate it. If I'm ready to eat something right then, I'll eat it right then. I do recommend refrigerating it for about 30 minutes. It does help the flavors blend a lot better. But in a pinch, if I'm hungry for something and I see that I'm about to overindulge with a salty food, I'll eat this ranch dip as soon as I make it. And for that amount that I spoke of, it's 1 Smart Point. You can't beat that. I can have a good snack in the afternoons for 1 Smart Point. Sometimes when I've used up all my points for the day, I'll eat something like that for supper. It works for me. Hopefully it will work for you if you'd like to try it. I do want to add one other little thing. These Great Value pretzels, I don't recommend eating a lot of them. But if you need something and you're really struggling and 2 points will fit that bill, 50 of those little pretzel sticks is how many you can have. Number 9, and this is a big question that I get a lot, or I see a lot on Connect. What's an alternative for the white potato? So many of us have always eaten white potatoes. I mean, they were easy to find, wintertime, summertime, any time of the year you could find potatoes in a grocery store. So obviously that's what people were drawn to for most of their life. I found about, probably 4 years ago, my husband told me about a sweet potato. Now, I had never been a sweet potato fan. If I ate a sweet potato, I always wanted at least a teaspoon of brown sugar on it and a big old whopping tablespoon of butter, and would mix it up, and it was good. Sometimes I still think about the way that I used to eat a sweet potato. But luckily for me, my husband told me about a specific kind of sweet potato. It is grown in a area of Mississippi. I believe the name of the town is called Vardaman, Mississippi. And I am able to find those sweet potatoes, as of right now, year-round. Now, this time of year, I have to get the microwavable ones. They come in a small packet, and it says microwave sweet potato, but it'll say Vardaman, Mississippi on it. So I know I'm getting the sweet potatoes I want. Now, that may seem like being really selective, but because I was not a big sweet potato eater for the first 60 years of my life, I have found that that's the one I like, and I like it consistently. And there's some that are made in North Carolina that I do not like. They're not sweet enough for me because I don't put anything on the sweet potato except for maybe a little bit of salt. I like that kind of sweet salt flavor. I bake these Vardaman potatoes for 50 minutes in a 400-degree oven. And I always say this, I mean, he's the one that taught me this. Make sure it's leaking a little bit. Some of the whatever is inside that sweet potato is leaking out, and that is a big indication that it's sweet. And they're very sweet. So that is the number one thing I use as an alternative to white potatoes. I also have found that corn on the cob helps. I microwave corn on the cob for 1:45, and then I turn it over and for another 1:45, and it helps fill that white potato void that I sometimes feel. Now, here is something that is gonna seem like I'm not being honest about it, but I am. This is what I do. At fast food restaurants, I will still get French fries. Now, what I've learned to do is I will get the kids' version, the smallest version of French fries that I can get at a fast food restaurant. And here's the hard part. I only eat half of them. I don't eat the whole pack because the whole pack can be 8, 10, sometimes it's even more than that Smart Points, and I'm not gonna eat that kind of amounts of Smart Points just for French fries, because here I am probably eating something else besides the French fries, and I don't have enough points in the day to spend 15 points for one meal. So what I do is when I get my meal, I automatically take out half of the French fries, and the other half I either put back in the bag or I put to the side. I make sure I don't touch them, because if I touch them, I'm liable to eat them. So you can still have white potatoes. You just have to moderate what you're eating. You have to eat lower amounts. And because I was such a binge eater and an overeater, I've had to physically half them to be able to be successful at it. Okay, now I'm to number 10. Now this is going to be a little, there's going to be people that are going to disagree with what I say here, but that's okay. I always go by my experience and what Weight Watchers recommends, and sometimes I go right along with what Weight Watchers recommends. Sometimes I deviate just a little bit from it. There were several people last week that I noticed would be on a plan, a colored plan for 1 week, and then change to another. And I don't think that's good. I think, for example, one girl posted that she lost 5 pounds on a plan, and she wanted to try out the other plan this week. Well, I can almost bet that she's going to gain weight this week. And how do I know that? Well, here's a perfect example of it. Since November the 11th, I had been on the purple plan. I had lost a little, I'd gained a little. It involved the holidays, and so I tried to give myself a little grace about it, but I did, in the long run, probably break even. I may have lost a pound or two from when I started the purple plan in November, but it was not much. And I'm still wanting to get down to the weight that I was at about a year ago, because my clothes are still fitting me just a little tight. Not bad, but just a little tight. And so I would like to get back down to what I was last year. Well, last Thursday, I decided to switch to the blue plan. I had been on the purple plan for almost 3 months, and I thought that was a good enough time to where I could judge my success or lack of success on the purple plan. I felt like that if I moved to the green plan, it would have been too much of a swing. Well, I found out that it was quite a bit of a swing to go from the purple to the blue plan. I gained over a pound last week. I don't think that I did really bad on the blue plan. I was eating some of my weeklies, but nothing outrageous. I had blue dots every day, and I gained over a pound. So my thinking is that changing from the purple to the blue plan, my body is trying to adjust to it. And it's taken over a week to do it. Well, I think Weight Watchers says that if you're going to switch plans, to at least stay on one plan for 2 weeks. I don't feel like that's long enough. I feel like that if you're going to change plans, stay on the same plan for at least a month. See if you can adjust whatever problems you're having with the plan, and in the long run, you may end up really liking the plan, because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do back in November, how long I was going to stay on the purple plan, but I wanted to try it because I'd never been on any kind of plan like it. And for the most part, I enjoyed it. I did feel like that it was not enough points for me. Even though I enjoyed being able to eat some of the new 0-point foods, I found out in the long run I was not taking advantage of that enough, and I missed some of the foods that I would have eaten had I had just a few more points. And I mean, I'm not even talking about processed foods. I'm talking about foods that have points. Like milk. I was totally staying away from milk because I didn't have the points to use it. And so that was one of the reasons I changed back to blue, because I believe blue is freestyle. It seems to be that. And I had been having pretty good experience with freestyle since Weight Watchers implemented it back in December of 2017. Now, I plan, and I stated this on my change of plans video, I plan on staying on the blue plan until probably Easter, which is in April. It's going to be a struggle if I continue to gain weight each week, because me gaining more than a pound last week, thinking that I did really well, it was hard. You know, that goes back to an earlier question. If I'd been weighing every day, I would have been livid by my weigh-in day. Because either that or I would have probably cut my food consumption way too much. You know, I'm on maintenance, so it's okay if I gain a little bit, but I don't ever want to lose control again. That's why it is important to weigh once a week, so that you don't lose control. You always have a handle on what you weigh. So, my advice about changing plans is please don't do it once a week. At least try to last for 1 month on the same plan. You know, you've got a lifetime to lose the weight. Don't mess with your mind by going one to the other and then not really understanding or knowing which one would actually work for you. I wanted to do a little bit of a summary, and I've sort of already started it with that question. No matter what weight loss program you're doing now, don't give up. Anything you do to help you lose weight is better than not doing anything. I know sometimes you get so discouraged. There were times, especially in 2016 and 17, I got very discouraged because I saw my weight getting higher each time I did weigh. And there were, I wouldn't say months, but there were several weeks sometimes that I wouldn't weigh because I knew that I was eating too much. And I knew what the answer was going to be once I got on the scale, that I had gained some more weight. I'm so thankful that after I had my thyroid surgery and was able to, I felt like, I was more than 6 weeks out from it, so I was healthy enough to take on a Weight Watchers again. I'm so thankful that I did, because I do believe, had I not, in August of 2017, I believe I would weigh over 200 pounds again. I mean, I know I would have. Had I tried to do it all on my own, I couldn't. You need something to help you. You need support from others. That's why YouTube and Facebook and Instagram is so important. If you're not a member of Weight Watchers and don't have the app to rely on and connect to rely on, reach out to somebody else. Don't try to do it by yourself. Find a friend that would love to lose weight and see if you can talk them into trying whatever you're trying. I do recommend, do not go on such a strict diet that it's almost like starvation. Always consult your doctor before you go on some kind of stringent weight loss program or start exercising. It's so important to make sure your health is in check with your weight. But also, give yourself not just grace, because I believe you have to give yourself a lot of grace when you first start, but give yourself some time to get used to eating the way that you're now eating. It took me at least 2 weeks to stop feeling hungry. Now, I don't think I was hungry during those 2 weeks. I think it was because I had been eating so much food, I no longer knew what hunger was. I'm still not sure I do, because on Weight Watchers, I don't have to be hungry. I can eat something anytime I begin to feel like I am getting hungry. So that's the great thing about Weight Watchers. I do not feel deprived. And if I ever do, I have to just step back and give myself a pep talk. There's nothing wrong with giving yourself a pep talk ever so often. Well, that's all I had to say today. I've gone way over what I normally do, but I did feel like a lot of these things were questions that people had, especially people that are just starting out on Weight Watchers or just started a new weight loss program in January. And I hope that I've said a few things that will help you in your journey. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And once again, I know I do this every time I do a video, but I am very honest about it. I love your comments. I want to know what you're getting from this or what you need. If I'm not fulfilling a need, please let me know, because that is my mantra. I want to help those that are struggling. So, have a great week. Goodbye.